All right, let's just jump right in. Today, we are going to break down a really powerful strategy for anyone, literally anyone, trying to get noticed online. It's called the hybrid niche, and honestly, it might just flip the script on how you think about creating content. But first, let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? You're doing everything right. I mean, you're checking all the boxes, you bought the fancy camera, you're uploading on a schedule, you're doing everything the gurus tell you to do. And crickets. The growth just isn't happening.
And that feeling, it is just so frustrating. It's the kind of frustration that makes you want to do exactly what this quote says. Just take a hammer and smash the whole thing to pieces. If you've ever felt that, trust me, you are not alone. But before you go breaking your keyboard, let's figure out what's really going on here.
See, the problem probably isn't you, and it's probably not your quality either. So what is it? Well, the problem is something we'll call the saturation trap. And it's the invisible wall that keeps so many amazing creators from ever getting found.
Okay, so check this out, because this is where it gets really interesting. On the left, you've got the perfect finance channel. The lighting is pristine, the editing is buttery smooth, the advice is solid, but it's totally invisible, stuck with a couple hundred views. Then on the right, you've got this weird channel. It's mixing finance with Minecraft. It breaks every rule in the book, and yet it's getting views, it's getting comments. What is going on?
The answer is what you could call the sea of sameness. Think about it. When someone who's into finance opens up their feed, they don't see one expert. They see an endless, non-stop scroll of people who all look the same, sound the same, and are talking about the exact same things. After a while, they just blur together. It's not people anymore, it's just noise.
And the scale of this problem is just staggering. You're not competing with 10 other channels, or even 50. No, you're competing against thousands of them, all using the same playbook, the same advice, the same look. How can anyone possibly stand out in that?
So if the problem is being the same as everybody else, the solution? Well, it has to be about being different. And this leads us right to the solution, the hybrid niche. This is where we get to have some fun.
Now, to be clear, a hybrid niche isn't about inventing a topic out of thin air. Not at all. It's about taking two existing worlds, two things that seem like they have nothing to do with each other, and smashing them together to create something that feels totally new and unique. Think finance and video games, or maybe ancient history and baking. Here's a great way to think about it. Imagine most creators are all stuck in a massive traffic jam on the same highway, just inching along. A hybrid niche is like taking the exit ramp to your own private road right alongside it. You're suddenly flying past everyone, not because you have a faster car, but because you're the only one on the road.
Or how about this one? It's perfect. A hybrid niche is like pineapple on pizza. For sure, some people are gonna hate it. They'll say it's wrong, it's weird, it shouldn't exist. But the people who love it, oh, they really love it. They're passionate fans for life. You're not trying to please everybody. You're looking for that small group who absolutely adores your unique combo.
And that's the secret. The strangeness is the entire point. When someone is mindlessly scrolling through that sea of sameness and they suddenly see a Minecraft character on a video about investing, their brain just short circuits for a second. It breaks the pattern. That tiny moment of, wait, what is that? That is the hook. That's what gets the click.
Okay, so the idea is powerful, right? We get what it is, we get why it works. But the big question is, how do you actually find your unique combination? Let's dive into the method. First things first, a really crucial warning. This is not about just throwing two random words in a blender and hitting go. For this to actually work, there has to be a deep, meaningful connection that makes sense to a very specific type of person. So let's look at how this works with these examples. That Minecraft and finance channel, it connects with a whole generation of people who grew up playing that game and are now adults trying to figure out money. It brilliantly taps into the nostalgia from their childhood and solves a real problem they have today. Or what about finance and relaxation? That's for an audience that is totally stressed out by money talk. It gives them the info they need, but in a calm, soothing way that they actually want to watch. So here's how you can do this for yourself. Step 1, what's your core topic? What are you an expert in? Let's stick with finance. Okay, step 2, what's a secondary, completely different world that you're also passionate about? Let's say nature. And now for step 3, the most important part. Find that deep connection. Ask yourself, what's the ultimate goal of getting your finances in order? Well, for a lot of people, it's to have a peaceful, stress-free life, a feeling that is perfectly captured by being out in nature. Boom, that's your hybrid niche.
And this all brings us to the biggest takeaway of all. This whole idea of a hybrid niche isn't just a clever little trick. It's a fundamental shift in how we need to think about standing out in this crazy crowded world.
You know, for years, the advice has always been, just be better. Get a better camera, write a better script, make better graphics. But here's the problem. When everyone is getting better, the gap between good and great gets smaller and smaller. Just being a little bit better isn't a real advantage anymore. The real advantage, the true superpower today, comes from being different. In a world with infinite things to watch and very limited attention, the winning move is to interrupt someone's scroll. It's about offering an experience that is so fresh, so unexpected, they just have to stop and see what it is. And so that leaves us with one final question to think about. A question for anyone out there trying to build something, to create something, to get a message out into the world. What's that strange combination that some people will hate, but that the right people will absolutely